Segment 2, the top 5 questions asked by online shoppers. You know, they say that knowing is half the battle, and it's really no different with online chat. If you have a good idea of what your customers' potential questions are before you begin chatting, you are much more likely to set an appointment. The following questions are by no means the only questions that you'll be asked when chatting with an online customer. However, they are great guidelines to adhere to. And it is not just the questions you ask, but it's also how you ask them. Building rapport initially is critical. So we shouldn't be asking what their blood type and their social security number are right off the bat. There's definitely a chat protocol to be learned to maximize the level of trust, increase conversions, and generate more sales. Number 1, is this vehicle available? As dealers, we often make the mistake of believing that the customer should know if a vehicle is still available. However, because of limited time and very busy schedules, this is a huge concern to customers that are shopping online. It is important that while chatting with a customer to have your current inventory on hand so that you can answer this question confidently. Always remember to answer the customer's question and immediately follow up with, yes, it's still available. When would you like to come in and take it for a quick test drive? This method would help you increase your chat conversions to appointments. Number 2, does the vehicle have X, Y, or Z? Similar to the first question, the customer is trying to get the best possible information with the least amount of effort. It is important to realize that chat customers are chatting either out of convenience or because they're at work and cannot make a phone call to the dealership. It is also very important to be very familiar with your inventory so that you can answer their questions promptly and with confidence. As above, answer their questions immediately and then ask when they'd like to come in for a test drive. Do not assume that the customer either wants or does not want a feature that they're asking about. For example, if a customer chats with you to ask if a particular vehicle has a sunroof, there's no way to know if they have to have one or they simply cannot stand them. So just answer the question quickly and accurately as possible, then ask for the appointment. Number 3, how much is it? At first glance, most dealers and internet managers think that this might be the number 1 question. However, most customers make their buying decisions based on wants or needs. Simply answer the question straightforward and then ask when they would like to come in for a test drive. Seeing the trend here? Number 4, how much will my payment be? Because more and more sites have payment calculators, this question is not asked that often. However, if you are asked, be straightforward and tell them the payment will depend on their down payment and their credit information, and that the most important thing is to ensure that the vehicle they're chatting about is the right one for them. And yes, you guessed it, ask them when they'd like to come in for a quick test drive. And finally, number 5, what will my interest rate be? Very similar to the previous question, this one will not be asked often. However, a great response is to reassure the customer that you search for the lowest possible rate, then let them make a decision that best fits their needs and budget. The operator or salesperson should immediately push the credit application to the customer through the chat mechanism and request that the customer let them know once they've completed it. This allows the salesperson to increase the percentage of shows using this technique. For we all know that the customer has allowed you to pull their credit will come to you first before stopping off at the competition. Then of course ask when they'd like to come in for a test drive. Asking them if they're going to need financing, have a trade-in, or if they have any other questions are also ways to engage them, get them talking, and build rapport as we discussed above. The same word tracks used on the phone or the showroom floor translate seamlessly with live chat. The thing that makes live chat so different is that the customer has no real connection or moral obligation to you, so they can simply leave the conversation without notice once they get the information that they wanted, and this perceived power results in them lowering their guard and making it easier for the operator to peel the onion to find out their needs. This is why it is so important to be familiar with your inventory and to be as open and honest with your responses. This helps to build rapport with the customer, and remember, they're only chatting with you out of convenience or lack of opportunity and time, so continue to make the process easy for the customer.